everybody, how you doing? Tekking and Barry here, back again for the Halloween season. This will be One Piece chapter 993 review titled Wano Country's Dream. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that there. Hey, I know it's been a while since I reviewed Bleach weekly, you know, given the fact that the manga ended like 4 years ago, but remember the Vizards? I remember the Vizards. Who was your favorite Vizard? They were a pretty cool group, were they not? Okay. So anyway, yeah, chapter 993, we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. The continuation of the fight between Kaido and the Scabbards, that's there. We touch base over at the Flower Capital, see what's going on over there really quick, but before any of that, guys, we gotta get ready. We got a wedding to attend. That's right, Gotti and Lola are finally tying the knot. Oh my god, it's beautiful. This has been a roller coaster of a cover series, I'll tell you what. And I know a lot of people, me included, could see this outcome, coming. I thought it was going to be elaborated on a little bit more, like a few panels for like preparation for the wedding, because they literally like just got away from Dressrosa. But no, the wedding is happening on board the ship, of course. A real pirate gangster wedding. Yeah, that's a pirate gangster wedding. Those are very rare in the world, but they do in fact happen every now and then. Pound is there, you know, reunited with his children. You got Beiji, you got Vito, you got the Risky brothers, who I don't believe we ever find out their real names, so it's just Risky Brother A and Risky Brother B. I also find it funny that they're still wearing their old, like, tattered clothing from Thriller Bark. It's like they were stranded on Thriller Bark for, like, years, and then, you know, obviously their clothing is all ruined, and this one guy has a tie that's all, like, ripped to shreds, but they're still wearing the exact same outfit. So I don't know. Maybe their time on Thriller Bark, you know, they were like, you know what? This whole mess with getting our shadows stolen by Moria and having to live in this forest with a bunch of zombies, I mean, it sucks, like, running for our lives every single night, and if the sun hits us, we die. That really does blow, but I'm liking the fashion choices here. I kind of like this. You know what? I think I'm going to keep this style, like, you know, clothing filled with holes and a ripped up tie. I like the way I look, right? And the other Risky Brother is like, damn straight, man. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't wear a ripped up tie as a fashion accessory. You do you. I'm like, damn straight, okay. And then that's just their style. They're wearing it to a wedding, so I guess they're very comfortable with it. But yeah, Lola's there in a wedding dress, kissing Gotti on the cheek. Gotti's lifting her up in his mighty machine gun arm. So it's awesome. And this is, of course, Lola's like 4,444th like engagement attempt, right? Actually, that number was before the time skip. I think that was the number when she proposed to Frankie, and Frankie let her down, you know, as softly as he could, with basically like, sorry, baby, but I'm just too super for you. It just wouldn't have worked out. And Frankie is pretty super, so I guess I can't argue with that. But that was before the time skip, so we're probably easily over like 5,000 marriage proposals at this point. But I'm glad, Lola. This might be number 5,000. This might be 5,000 even. She finally got it, and Gotti accepted, and they seem pretty happy. So, you know, all the congratulations in the world of the happy couple. Hold on, I didn't know we were attending a wedding today, Barry. I have some wedding presents maybe down here. All right, hold on. Okay. We got some Captain Wafer crackers, and we got a can of beans. So, yeah, I'm not really prepared for that. Oh, wait, hold on. I also got a creepy skeleton spider. Congratulations, you two. You're just adorable. Okay. So anyway, okay. yeah, just don't let it down. It tends to scurry. Okay. So anyway, getting into the actual chapter, anybody want a can of beans? Can of beans. Grillin' beans. Bush's best steakhouse recipe. Tekking approved. All right. So we're starting off over in the Flower Capital. Okay. Now, there's really no major characters currently in the Flower Capital, like, relevance to the story. You know, everybody, all the major players are on Onigashima, right? Like the Straw Hats, Law and his crew, Kid and his crew, all of the Calamities, Kaido, the majority of the Beast Pirates' main force. I'm sure there are still some samurais, some Yakuza that work for, well, they used to work for Kyoshiro, they used to work for Orochi, lingering around the Flower Capital, but mostly it's just a huge party. And the narrator comes on and kind of explains the idea of the Fire Festival a little bit. You know, of course we already knew that it was the one day a year that the citizens of Wano could come in from all over the place, because usually the Flower Capital is restricted access access to only the richest or the people that, like, Orochi personally wants to live there, and anybody else that can't pay their rent or whatever just gets kicked out of the capital. But in this one day, you can come from any part of the land, the most poor countries or the poorest regions, or any of the leftover towns, and you can come into the flower capital and you can drink and be merry. There's 2 people from Ebisu town there that were drinking water, and they're like, man, this water's pretty clean, right? So that's how sad this state of affairs is, where it's just like, wow, we get to drink unpolluted water on this one day a year. This water's great, isn't it? Like, it's not even like juice or soda or booze or anything. It's just like, this water is so damn good. I know, right? Seconds, barkeep, you know? More water. They're even like, breathe the air. Oh, the air doesn't smell like crap. The air isn't like polluted into your lungs. Oh my god, it's actually clean. But the narrator goes on and how, like, all of the citizens of Wano, not just the citizens of, like, Ebisu Town or Amagasa or anybody else, like, anywhere else in the country that's not really that great, even the citizens of the Flower Capital, you know, they kind of are living their lives stifled with the oppression of Orochi. And this is the one day a year when Orochi literally leaves the capital where they can kind of express those views. And so there's people out in the streets openly, like, you know, oh, man, freaking Orochi, man, I hope that guy never comes back. Yeah, well, we could dream. Every fire festival we think maybe this day could last forever. It never does, but hey, why not? Let's get drunk. You know what I mean? So most of the people of the country, I think, understand, you know, Orochi sucks. This system sucks. Kaido sucks. You know, the whole system is crap. This country used to be beautiful and lush, and now it's, look at all the deforestation, look at all the smog, look at all the freaking sewer runoff. You know, everything is just hoarded in the flower capital because of Orochi. Everybody knows Orochi sucks. Probably even the people that work for Orochi understand this and admit it. But it's like, we can't say anything 364 days of the damn year, because if we do, it's, you know, I am Lord Orochi, off with their heads! How dare they say they don't have enough water to drink? I'm the only one that deserves water to drink! You know what? No more water for anyone! They can drink dirt! You know, like, that's literally probably something that happened at some point in the past, right? Involving Orochi, right? So, it's funny, though, because, you know, we have a scene where there's a bunch of people in the streets, they're eating good food, they're drinking good booze and water, and they're like, man, I bet right now, over on Onigashima, all of the Kozukis are getting back together for an epic fight amongst fights. Man, I bet Kaido is a dragon duck right now, and the 9 red scabbards came back from the past and are fighting him on top of Onigashima right now. Oh man, that would be so damn cool. Oh, you know what else would be really cool? Would it be cool if, like, some, like, pirate came from another land with the ability to turn into, like, some kind of rubber, you know, wisdom king or whatever, and just punched him right in the face. Oh, man, I got a better thing for you. Wouldn't it be cool if there was, like, some really crazy strong swordsman from a foreign land that has connections from Wano, from, like Ryuma's distant descendant or some shit, and he had one of Odin's old swords, and he took that sword, and he just sliced Kaido's head off. Man, that would be so cool! And so they're just sitting there, they're drinking, they're having a fun time. There's, like, little kids, and they're, like, looking up at the sky and the fireworks. There's, like, a giant parade float, which I think is supposed to look like, in one part, like the Mio, like the Wisdom King, you know, the guardian deity that Hyo spoke about, and also the Neo, which is, the guardian deity, like another one that Luffy's Gear 4th kind of resembles, you know, with the arms outstretched like this. So it's this giant parade float, and people are, like, dancing on top of it. It's so huge. But it also resembles Odin. And so the narrator goes on to explain that, like, that legend of the Kozukis coming back that Toki spoke about, the legend that Orochi was so afraid of, yeah, there were people that didn't believe it, but as for, like, the common people of Wano, that was a legend that they could actually, like, grasp onto. Like, if you can just hold on for 20 years, the Kozukis will return, and they will return Wano to their rightful ruler. Okay? And so, it's supposed to be building, like, a lot of tension, I think Oda's going for here. Like, everybody in the Flower Capital's having a lot of fun. The kids are like, man, we wish this could last forever. This night could last forever. And we have Frankie's old boss, the carpenter dude, and he's like, man, this is the one day a year I can drink. After this, it's all gone, right? So might as well enjoy it, right? And so we kind of just leave that scene there with one individual. Actually, he's actually crying like, man, if only Kaido didn't back Orochi, we could have fun like this every night. So, yeah, they have no idea what's going on in Onigashima right now. And so it's like, let's just dance and be merry. Let's just dance until, you know, the morning sun comes up and we gotta go back to our crappy lives again. Yeah, dance! You gotta cook it tonight. Okay, I'm not gonna do the 4Kids song, but yeah, it's a do or die kind of scenario. Whether or not they're going to, like, they're either gonna, you know, pass out from partying, they're either gonna wake up the next day with Kaido ruling over all of them, stomping into town, not even stomping, you know, flying into town as a giant dragon, being like, all right, listen up, everybody. Oh no, it's Kaido, now what? He's like, all right, I got 2 pieces of news for everybody in Wano. First piece of news, I decapitated Orochi. Is that serious? Is that... Yeah, Kaido! Okay, alright, yeah. Bad news! I'm taking over the entire country, turning it into a pirate paradise. So I called some buddies of mine from back in my Rocks Crew days. Silver Axe, Wang Zhi's gonna show up, and we're gonna have a big epic party here. You guys are probably all gonna die. Like, oh, that's... Okay, that was... And maybe you could have flipped those around. It's like, well, pirate paradise, but Orochi's dead. I'm like, well... Alright, can't win them all, I guess, but we got compromise on something, right? Okay. It's either going to be that, or they're going to be awoken the next day with a thunderous cheer of, like, the Kozukis marching down the street, like the Scabbards and Momo, they're going to be hoisting up as, like, this is it! We slayed Orochi! Just take the cover. Just say, yeah, we killed Orochi, not Kaido. I was like, we killed Orochi and Kaido last night! Onigashima is in flames! This is our new shogun, Kozuki Momonosuke! And Momonosuke's like, yeah! And everyone's like, yeah! And then that's either going to be one or the other. There's really not a lot of middle ground here, okay? So anyway, we cut back over to Onigashima, into the festival hall. We continue on from Drake and Zoro's little battle, where that kind of got interrupted by Queen, taking out his big minigun and just firing off plague bullets like spray and pray all over the damn festival hall. So these were, in fact, different plague bullets than the mummy virus that we saw at Udon. This is something that Queen claims is like his prize jewel. This is like his greatest creation ever, and these are the Ice Demon, or the Ice Oni bullets, Excite bullets as they're called. And so anybody that gets shot with these bullets begins to have, like, frozen, like a shell, just kind of, like, encroaching on them. Like, imagine, like, a plague or some kind of, like, parasitic organism, except it's ice. And so you get shot with one of these things, and it's just like your body begins to freeze and, like, frostbite, and just like, and then you get turned into a literal ice demon. Like, your body turns all rigid and spiky, and you get horns and fangs, and it's just like, and then you just turn into a rampaging ice demon, going around, grabbing other people, biting them, clawing them, spreading the infection, spreading the virus, and more people are being changed into these ice demons, or these ice oni. I looked this up in Japanese folklore, just like a brief, like, recap here. I know the Yuki Onna is a thing, the snow woman, which Monet is kind of based off of that kind of yokai, but I don't know if there's, like, there probably is, like, a bunch of different kinds of oni. I just don't know if this ice oni has, like, a specific name other than, like, the Yuki Onna. I'm not really sure there. But yeah, this is actually really terrifying. The other day, my mom ordered a bunch of, like, frozen food, so we get this big styrofoam container that has, like, dry ice in it, and there's, like, stickers all over it, like, do not touch dry ice, idiot, you will get an ice burn, right? Use gloves. So, I use gloves, alright? I use gloves, but when I was opening up something, a piece of dry ice, a little flake of it, fell, like, behind my glove, and I don't know if you can see it anymore, it was a few days back, but there was, like, this was a lot bigger, there was, like, a little whelp on my hand from when the dry ice hit it, just a little flake, and I couldn't help but think, like, wow, if only, like, a single little flake did that to my skin, imagine what would happen if you just, like, touched, like, dry ice, like, bare skin, you know, like, and that's, like, I'm reading this, and I'm like, oh, God, that's probably what this feels like your body just burning away as, like, the ice is freezing you over and turning you into a mindless demon, alright? So, Drake and Zoro are witnessing that, like, Zoro's like, alright, right, that's new. And Drake's like, yeah, those are Plague's bullets. And those are Queen's Plague bullets. I'm like, oh, that's not good at all. So, you know, Queen is up there and he's basically just like, all right, you know, puts down his minigun, picks up a cigar, and he's like, all right, lock down this floor, everybody's screwed. So he's pretty much just doing the, doesn't matter if it's, like, their own men, like the Pleasures and the Waiters or whoever else is fighting down on the Golden Kagura. He's being a little bit pragmatic about this and just being like, all right, I released my best Plague that I had. I don't know, I guess he doesn't necessarily say it's his strongest or most devastating, just that it's his, like, his personal favorite. You know, this is the thing that or maybe I developed the most recently. This just came out of the lab last week. Beautiful ice demon bullets. I love these ones. Maybe he might have something a little bit more devastating than this or more powerful. Maybe something he can't control necessarily, but this is like maybe his personal fave. But he's like, yeah, lock down all exits to the hall. We're just gonna let this Plague run its course. I'm up here safe in the balcony area. I'm sure Queen probably has like immunities like or antibodies or like a cure for it for himself in case he got infected by any of this stuff. You know, so, you know, he's safe up there. He's just like, lock everything down. The pirates and our men, we'll lose some of our men, but who cares? You know, it's like everything will be taken care of. All right, so that's Queen's plan. Now we cut over to Luffy and Sanji's side. Remember, Sanji was kind of helping Luffy trying to get back to the roof. Luffy keeps trying to peel off and fight against random members of the crew, like random headliners, random gifters, and everything. Sanji has to keep pulling him back. I'm like, Luffy, stamina! Conserve it! I am here to fight them for you! Luffy's like, Sanji, do you see how many of these guys there are? I can't wait that long with just you helping me. I'm like, you can't wait 10 seconds? You can't wait 10 seconds for me to do, like, party table kick course, beat the crap out of everybody so you can go on? It's like, no, Sanji, I'm extremely impatient! Do you not understand my character at this point? So they're arguing back and forth. Sanji's beating down a bunch of the gifters, but it's just like Luffy just keeps getting distracted. I think Luffy is just like, he really wants to fight something right now. Like, he was all geared up for this. You know, he probably couldn't even sleep last night. He's just like, man, I can't wait. Can't wait. I'm just gonna boom! I'm gonna punch Kaido right in the face. Bam! Yeah, Cure 4th, King Kong gun. Bam! But he hasn't had a chance to do that yet. So he's just like, man, Sanji, I just want to punch! And it'd be funny if they were in the middle of having this argument, Sanji and Luffy back and forth, and gifters keep running up to them, and they're just like, hey, Luffy, I'm gonna beat you! Bam! Sanji, be quiet! And then Sanji's like kicking them like while they're in mid-conversation. But anyway, Jinbei shows up behind them, and he's like, you know, 10 seconds, I can deal with these small fry in 3. And so he shows up and he's like, you know, Fishman Karate! Bam! And just knocks a bunch of them down, and Luffy's like, thanks, Jinbei! And Sanji's like, hey, I was the one that was, like, protecting him here. You know, you're the new recruit, Jinbei, you know? And Jinbei's pretty chill with, like, the response, because, you know, he's just new to the crew and everything, so he's like, oh, you were helping Luffy. I'm sorry, Sanji, I didn't know that. But anyway, they're gonna both help out Luffy here, and Sanji's like, all right, tell you what, you can help us here, but just keep in mind, the second he sees anybody, he's gonna run off and try to fight them. You need to prevent him from doing that, because he needs to save literally as much stamina as he can. He's literally going up against an emperor pretty soon, all right? And he's, like, our only chance we have, so, just keep that in mind. And Jinbei's like, okay, I'll try to rein him in while this is going on. Jinbei has experience at doing that before. Remember back at Amazon Lily when Luffy was thrashing around after Ace died? Jinbei had to rein him in there too. So I think he knows what they're kind of dealing with here. But yeah, you know, you can't blame Luffy. He's really excited. Oh yeah, also there's a gorilla smile that they fight. Briscola is his name. He shows up and he has the gorilla part of his body coming out of his arm. So it's literally just like a regular human, and then with his left arm, it just, you know, turns into a gorilla, just with no legs. So just like the upper portion of the gorilla, his arms, his head, just sticking out of where his arms should be. And I'm kind of looking at that like, first off, this Briscola dude, upper arm strength of a god. Do you know how much gorillas weigh? Like, a lot, okay? And granted, this gorilla doesn't have legs, but still, like, the upper body of a gorilla, the arms, the head, the body, the torso, everything. And this Briscola dude is, like, lifting him up with just one arm alone. So, dude lifts. He's also a headliner, so he's pissed that Luffy and Sanji have been kicking the crap out of his underlings. So he just has this giant gorilla coming out of him, and Luffy and Sanji are just confused. They're just like, how is that, how is that the way that the gorilla popped out? And Briscola's like, oh, well, which way do you think a gorilla would pop out of my body? And he, like, rears back, and the gorilla just, like, gets pumped up, like, ook, ook, and then just starts, like, punching. So he throws a punch, and then the gorilla continues the punch, because the gorilla actually has arms and fingers and can make a fist. This guy's arm is literally the gorilla. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh, how else could the gorilla have spawned out of his body? Like, I guess the best way would be, like, kind of going along with the Machamp idea with, like, the gorilla arms coming out, but that's not as interesting, right? You know, the whole point of this, I think Oda's just having a lot of fun drawing animals springing out of random characters' bodies in weird ways, right? And that's kind of one of the downsides of the smile. Like, yeah, you have, like, a 1 in 10 chance of even getting the power, 9 in 10 chance of becoming just a laughing maniac for the rest of your life, but even if you succeed and you're that 10% and you get a power, it could be a power like this, where, like, you ate the fruit, and then a gorilla just pops out of your arm, just like, ook, ook. You're like, okay. And you better get along with the gorilla, because you don't want this gorilla to beat the crap out of you, right? So you better be nice to this gorilla arm that you have. But at any rate, yeah, so they fight against Briscola. That's when Jinbei shows up and kind of beats him down really quick with his fisherman karate, and then they run off together. Meanwhile, while this is going on, a mysterious black cat is in the rafters of the festival hall. We also, by the way, get a very brief map of everything. There's, like, different towers. So this one they're in right now, I believe, is called the Uno Tower, which makes sense because Uno means one, but it's also a card game. So maybe the next one is the Dos Tower, because there's also a card game called Dos. So I don't know if it's going to keep going on like that, but there's different towers, different sections inside of Onigashima, and we get to see, let me just really quick pull up this map here. Yeah, so there looks like there's 2 basement levels, one of which is where Luffy and Sanji are at right now, and then there's a ground level, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's the roof access, which is where Jack showed up with his group to go and fight against the Minks, okay? So, yeah, it looks like we got 5 levels, a roof level, and then, like, 2 basement levels, and that kind of makes up, like, inside of Muffin Mountain, like, inside of the dome. That's what we're dealing with right now. And there's more towers than that we can see off to the side. So there's, like, a Dos Tower, and maybe some other kind of, like, I don't know how many towers there are. But anyway, this, black cat has, like, a tag on its face, like a paper tag that has, like, an eye on it, like, you know, tacked to its face. And this is actually the power of Bao Huang, which was a headliner, but also a gifter that has the power of the flying squirrel smile, and was, like, Kaido's secretary, I guess. You know, she's, like, the one that, like, writes down all of Kaido's appointments and everything, I guess. Like, you know, Mr. Kaido, you have a 5 o'clock with Orochi before you slice his head off today. So she's kind of, like, observing everything in the hall of what's going on and reporting back to King, because Kaido is currently indisposed, so I'm guessing King would be the next, you know, chain of command here. So they finally figure out exactly what's all going on here with the goal of the rebellion. And so King gets on the Den Mushi, and he relays this information to all of the Tobi Roppo and all the high-ranking members, like the headliners and everything. He's like, all right, listen up, everybody. These are, the enemies number around 5,400. They've invaded Onigashima, no duh. Their goal is to reinstate the Kozuki family as the rulers of Wano. They're here to defeat Kaido and get rid of us, the Beast Pirates. They also have Kozuki Momonosuke with them, who, you know, will become the next shogun. So the goal here is, like, all we need to do is eliminate this kid. If we can find Momo and then cap him off like he was supposed to be executed, then, you know, their spirits will crumble, because they won't have anybody else to, like, really lead them. Like that's the whole goal. Like Momo's not actually leading them, but, like, to put him on the throne at the end of the battle, that's the overall goal. So that's basically King's goal, and I have to say it's a good plan. Instead of, like, punching and beating down every single member of the rebellion, just try to crush their morale, you know, be like, hey, your goal is to take Odin's son Momo and put him on the throne. Well, if we eliminate him before the fight even finishes, you don't have an endgame. So you could still fight us, but the morale and the structure of everything would probably collapse, you know, where it becomes less of a battle to become the new ruler of Wano, like get the Kozuki clan back, but more of just a battle to, you know, survive. 5. And at that point, I think King would have the advantage with the Beast Pirates and everything like that, because like home turf. So we find out about that, so everybody's now going to be aiming for Momonosuke specifically. We cut back over to Shinobu, still running away with Momo. They haven't, this is just a testament to how big this damn place is. Shinobu has been booking at like top speed for like the last few chapters, and she still hasn't managed to get out of the freaking Muffin Mountain yet. Like, this place is huge, right? Yamato is still chasing them, and at this exact same moment, it's Sasaki that actually sees them and is like, oh, found Momo, and then boom, they just fire cannonballs and arrows directly at Shinobu. She gets hit, she starts coughing up blood, that's not good. Yamato stops and is just like, whoa, what's going on? And then boom, we get introduced to Sasaki's Armored Corps. You know, so the armored squadron of the Beast Pirates that Sasaki, one of the Tobiropo, heads up. As the name implies, all of the members are smile users that have like really high defense capabilities. So a lot of insect smiles are here because they have like exoskeletons like stag beetles and rhinoceros beetles. We see an armadillo, or maybe not an armadillo, a porcupine. No, Armadillo Man was earlier. Yeah, Armadillo Man was earlier. We see a porcupine man that has spikes everywhere. We see a crab girl! We finally get the crab smile! Yes! Okay, alright. It's not a mechanical crab, and she's not giant, but we got kind of a sexy crab girl walking around, alright? This could go places, ladies and gentlemen. I'm putting money on the crab girl, okay? And heading up the Armored Corps, we of course have Sasaki, who is on a throne that has his name over it. The throne being on the back of a giant rhinoceros smile. So the man that has the rhinoceros smile has no lower body, just he ate the smile and a giant rhinoceros just appeared on his lower half. So it's really more rhinoceros than man at this point, just a man that's like fused with the top of the rhino, and it's got like armor on the rhino, like the horn has like a horn ring on it or something. It's got like an armor piercing like, you know, cap on the freaking horn, and then the Sasaki's throne is on the back. So I gotta tell you, Sasaki knows how to make a damn entrance, right? You know, Sasaki comes rolling up to a battle on top of a damn rhino smile with a throne that has his name on it. Like, boom! Sasaki's in the house! I'm here! Also, I think that gives some good belief that Sasaki's smile, not his smile, because he just has a regular ancient zone, probably. All the Tobiropo probably just have actual ancient zones. Is either going to be, I want to say the Triceratops, because the Triceratops has a lot of high defense, right? You know, because it's got like the head, you know, the plate and everything, and the horns, you know, 3 horns coming out. So I'm thinking Sasaki is going to be a Triceratops. Maybe Stego, but I'm going to go with Triceratops. I'm really feeling that with the horns coming out. We've yet to see the Triceratops Ancient Zone yet, so probably going to be that. So Shinobu gets knocked down. She's not dead or anything, but she gets hit. She's get hit by arrows, she gets hit by explosions, and she drops Momo. And Momo is still injured as well. I mean, Momo was beaten up. You know, he's still like missing, not missing an eye, but his one eye is swollen. He's got like a black eye so he can barely see, and he's losing blood. And so Shinobu's like on the ground, and she's like, Master Momonosuke, you must flee. Escape now! And then Momo's still like questioning what to even do, because Momo's like, but I'm supposed to be the Shogun. Would a Shogun really run away at this time? I'm like, okay, alright, Momo, I get it. You're trying to like follow in the footsteps of your dad and trying to pick out what's the best thing to do right now. The best thing for you to do, Momo, is survive right now, alright? Like, you already did a pretty good job there. I mean, you told Kaido to his face, you know, I am Kozuki Momonosuke! And then Sanji freed you and everything. But in this one particular instance, you are surrounded by giant rhinos and a crab girl, and Shinobu just got taken out, and freaking Tobiropo Sasaki's there, and you're already bleeding out. I'm like, Momo, I don't think anybody's gonna question it if you get up and run away as fast as you can. You can't fight these people. Momo versus Sasaki. How do you think that fight's gonna go, right? And so Momo's questioning what to even do here. He's hesitating, and it's at this point that Yamato steps up, and Yamato's like, Sasaki, I will defend Momonosuke, my son. And then of course, I don't think Yamato actually says that, but you know. And so Sasaki's kind of there just like, young Master Yamato, so you're gonna get in our way as well. And Yamato's like, get in your way? I'm not getting in your way. say, I'm defending the honor of the Kozuki clan. I fight for them this day. And then that's all we get there. So it seems like Yamato's going to go up against Sasaki. That's going to be the Sasaki fight. Yamato versus Sasaki. That's going to be pretty epic. Can't wait to see what's going to happen from there. Momo, I think, is going to hesitate and not really do anything. I don't think he's really going to try to run away. Maybe he might assist Yamato in some way. Not really sure what Momo could really do in this one particular instance, you know, but I don't know. Momo goes up to Yamato like, go, Dad! And Yamato's like, he believes in me. Let's go, Sasuke. I don't know, but we'll see where this heads. We'll see where this leads. Okay. So now we cut over to the last scene of the chapter on top of the Onigashima, on top of Muffin Mountain, where Kaido is lying there. The Togen Totsuka times, not times 2, not times 3, but times 4. Bam, 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 bam. Thank you, ma'am. Drops Kaido. He's there. We don't really know what the story is yet, because he's not moving, he dropped, he's still in dragon form, blood is seeping out of the scar, and so all of the scabbards are like, slash his windpipe, cut his head off! It's not over until his head is separated from his body and at the bottom of the damn ocean! Right, so they're doing the double tap. That's at least a rule that they picked up, right? They're like, okay, yeah, we sliced him, he's down. Oh no, we're not done yet. We're not done yet until he is a pile of just jelly. All right, so they go to attack him one more time to kind of put an end to this, and then that's when Kaido speaks. He's like on the ground. He's like, your power, your tenacity. And you could feel it, like, from the scabbards, like, those words that Kaido is speaking are kind of like dread. Because one way that somebody actually phrased this, a few people are like, you know, the scabbards seem like they're really beating the crap out of Kaido, but at the end of the day, they're probably going to run out of stamina way quicker than Kaido's going to run out of stamina, and they're, like, doing, like, their best attacks, like, one after another, like Kinemon slicing the Boro breath, and, you know, doing the times 4 Togen Totsuka Odin style. Like, they're really busting out their strongest attacks. They're going full on to finish him off as quickly as possible. And that's not a bad strategy, but it's like kind of gambling with that. It's just like, either we hit him with everything we got and we win, or we hit him with everything we got, and it's still not enough, and he's still really not that injured, and our stamina's depleted, and we're kind of screwed. Leaning on more toward the latter right now. And so Kaido talks about Odin, and he's like, you know, there was only one Kozuki Odin in the world, you know, every time this scar throbbed, I was reminded of him, but you are nothing more than an imitation of Odin. For the briefest of instances, I saw his visage behind you. You know, that moment, I'm sure, when they jumped up with the Togen Totsuka, the Odin style, maybe Kaido had a brief view of Odin. Like, they were almost there, but that was all it was. Just a brief glimmer, and nothing else. And so Kaido gets up, and he's just like, you know, you will not even open this wound, this old wound that Odin gave me. You will not truly open it. Which is funny, because it's clearly bleeding in the panel. But I'm guessing what Kaido really meant was, like, you will never truly injure me the same way that Odin injured me. This wound is bleeding, but it's not enough to kill me. You just basically paper-cutted me a little bit. This goes against my expectations. It really does. I thought after getting hit in that scar, Kaido was going to let out a mighty roar of pain, like he was feeling pain up until this point. But I think it was, like, kind of the exact opposite of, like, he finally got hit in this weak point that he has, and it didn't hurt as much as he thought it would hurt, because it's not Odin, it's his scabbards. And so that kind of maybe brought Kaido back to his senses a little bit, where he was freaking out earlier, like, they're hurting me, they're cutting me, they're making me bleed, who are these people, right? But then after getting hit with their, like, strongest attack right in his scar, he's like, oh no, it hurts, but not really that much. And that was like their strongest move, the Togen Totsuka. That's Odin's move, right in the scar. And it's like, oh, I'm all right. I could deal with this. And so he gets up, and I think it did the exact opposite effect of what I thought it was going to do. It was going to, like, lower his morale. I think that bolstered it. I thought that got Kaido over, like, oh, all right. I was worried there for a little while. You guys were, like, slicing me. I thought, oh no, where's this gonna go? But now I see that you can't actually hurt me. You know, you hit my weak point as hard as you could, and it really didn't hurt me that much. So, all right, I guess I win. And so he opens up his mouth. It's not fire this time. It's not lightning. It's wind blades. I don't know how he can do this. Is this like his thing? Or it's like every time like he has like a different like set of inventory for every like, all right, I'm gonna do Boro breath, lightning breath, wind scythe breath. Haven't done that yet. So he lets out a mighty roar. You know, I thought for a wind scythe, I thought it would be more of like a like that, but no, it's more of like he just opens his mouth wide like roar, and then just lets out a roar, and these invisible air slices come out. Like, that's the thing, like, we can see them as the audience, but Denjiro does say, like, you know, we got an invisible attack or an air attack, so they probably can't see the blades as easily as we can, and so they know an attack is coming, though, and they're already kind of beaten and kind of exhausted, so they can't really dodge it. So what they do is they kind of just brace themselves, right? So just like a barrage of wind scythes are coming at them, and so everybody just kind of picks up their swords and it's just like, you know, stand your ground, try to block the attack as much as possible, and Kiku gets hit, guys. Kiku gets hit hard. So Kiku's sword just gets sliced in half by this attack, and well, I hope that wasn't a Meito, because that one's got sliced. I just did a big Meito video yesterday. I'm like, well, that's not looking too good, but, you know, if that was the worst thing that happened to Kiku here, that would probably be, preferable, because then her entire arm gets sliced off by one of these things. Just shing! Like, armor and all did nothing to block this attack. Just shing! Her entire arm just gets flung off with the armor, sword gets sliced, and Izo's in the background just like, Kiku! And Kinemon's there like, Kiku! And so that's where we end the chapter. And we just see one panel of Kiku with her eyes just kind of widening like, oh, that's not good. You know, that's not good. So now we're starting to go into the Kubo Academy of how we're going to handle this, with just like characters getting arms ripped off left and right. That might happen. So yeah, I thought, like, Kaido was going to be in a lot of pain and then go back to his regular form and then just start, you know, Thunder Bagara everybody. But no, it seems like Kaido kind of took the hits, and he took the hits kind of on purpose, maybe. I don't think he did that. Maybe he might say he did, but I don't know. I think he was, like, taking the hits and freaking out, like, oh, crap, this isn't good, this isn't good. This isn't so bad. I got over it. And he went to attack them, okay? Now, even though Kaido did say, like, this wound will not open, it's still bleeding. He's still got cut in the scar, and blood is seeping out. But I don't think the damage is enough or sufficient to, like Kaido's not gonna drop because of blood loss right now or anything like that. He's like, oh, I'm losing too much blood, and then crash. I don't think that's gonna be a situation at all. But yeah, this is going to be the turning point, and I think this is going to be I think we might have to start getting other pirates involved here, like Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei, Kid, Law. Somebody's going to have to show up here, because, yeah, I don't think Kiku's going to be able to continue this fight. I mean, she might be able to, maybe. You know, she gets knocked down for a little bit, Izo gets pissed, maybe Izo does something, you know, but, you know, we might have a moment where Kiku gets back up at some point, launches, like, one final attack against Kaido at, like, a deciding moment. That would be really badass. But for right now, that looks like Kiku's going to be the first major casualty of the Scabbards to drop. So that's not looking too good there, right? You know, Kaido's just like, you are too weak, you are nothing before me, and this is where the damage really starts. So I'm hoping before things get too south for the Scabbards, like too many of them drop, we get some added reinforcements finally arriving, and so they can help them out. Because I still want to see Denjiro and Kinemon and Kawamatsu and everybody still involved in this fight to see everything that they can really do. But I don't want them just all to drop and then, like, you know, okay, all the Scabbards are done, it's time for Law, Kid, and Luffy to take over. No, I want there to be a mix-and match. I want there to be like, alright, Kiku's down. Maybe next chapter, oh no, Nekomamushi got dropped. I'm like, okay, but then we get Law and Kid showing up to kind of pitch hit for them. So that would be cool, right? But yeah, really good chapter. I really like the break of action a little bit to go back to the Flower Capital to really set up kind of like the tensions there. I like to see the wedding between Gotti and Lola, and Yamato's going to go up against Sasaki. That's going to be an epic fight. We're probably going to get to see Sasaki's Devil Fruit pretty soon, which I'm assuming is a Triceratops. And Kaido kind of overcame. Kaido got his groove back, which that's not good. That's not good at all when a giant duck dragon gets his groove back, okay? And so, yeah, he got his groove back, and Kiku was, yeah, none too fortunate on that one particular exchange. So, no break, though, next week. We're getting back into it, back into the regular flow of things. We'll see what happens from here. But thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking and Barry, signing out. boom, 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 boom.